Welcome back to the channel, folks. It is another day. We are working in the shop. I know, you can't always have the fun, but we're still got stuff to do to the truck. We have done nothing to it since the last clip you saw in the Gambler 500, or, I'm sorry, the King of the Gambler video. Nothing. The last one you saw, we were in here talking about it, is exactly as it was. But basically got home, got back to work, and then edited the last video. Hopefully you guys watched. But today's plan is to pull the radiator out and see if we cannot figure out why it's leaking. So that's the plan, because if I cannot fix it, I want to get one ordered ASAP. Alright, so the drain for the radiator is right there, but it goes right on top of the steering box. So that's not really convenient. And then if I go over here and I pull the bottom radiator hose, it's going to drain all on top of this cross member and all those wires. So I'm thinking we're going to pull the hose off the water pump, which is right there, and then just do the best that we can to avoid spillage. I only kind of spilled. Wasn't terrible. Take a look at that. Just what I thought it was. Something just punched a hole in the bottom. Which means I can fix that. I am in such a good mood. Let me show you a punch the hole though. This little bolt right here punched our little hole. So it got wedged up all weird and it just rattled itself loose, and that was the end of that. But I am in a fantastic mood right now, because that's like a, I don't know, anywhere from $300 to $400 radiator I don't have to buy. I can just weld it and fix it. So let's get to that. Well, I tried welding the hole and I made it progressively larger. So now we're going to make a little cap for it and just fill her in. So here's the solution, just a little piece of aluminum. We're going to weld her in, call it a day. There she is. Now, before any of you guys start tearing me up about how bad that looks, I know. It's been like five or 6 years since I've welded aluminum. Been a long time. And I don't have that machine figured out. But I did learn something, and I figured out why the color of the radiator fluid was a little bit brown. And it is not from the transmission coolers or the transmission lines. It is from the rust from the inside of the motor, because it's an iron block. And let me show you why I believe that. Look at that. That is juicy. So this is the inlet to the radiator, and then that is the return. Okay, so everything coming from motor to radiator goes here, and all of that metal is all from the iron block. But like, golly, it's all just chunks of iron. So that's why my fluid was chunky. That was all at the bottom, or all, well, it was actually down there at the bottom, but I since tipped it upside down. I'm gonna see if I can get any more of it out. But geez. So if you're ever wondering what the advantages are of an aluminum block, that's the advantage right there. You don't get flakes of iron or steel coming off and going through your system. Fortunately, it all just gathers at the bottom of the radiator, but man, that cannot be good. I know it's a big block, I know it's a good motor and whatnot, and I know it's bulletproof for the most part, but golly, that is not good. Golly, I know I just showed you guys, but this is That is gnarly. Just little just chunks of metal. And I'll prove it to you. Check this out. Just in case, like, that's not metal. Wanna bet? There she is, stuck to a magnet. That is steel, and that is also iron. So there's a really easy solution to fix the chunks of steel coming out of the block. And that is that you put a little bit of money aside every check towards a motor fund. And when this motor decides to blow a hole through the side of it, because there's no more metal in it left to be structurally sound, you'll have enough money in that fund for a Cummins or an LS or whatever you're trying to swap into it. So when it goes, it's no surprise, and you already have money saved up for it, so it's not a shock to the bank account either. That's how you do it, folks. So I just cut the transmission lines because this one wasn't too bad, but this guy, I was not liking that bend. So we cut these guys. Since the line's gonna get rewired through here and on the inside of the, or I guess in front of the radiator, really doesn't make a difference, but label this guy as top. So we have top, and this one's the bottom one. And yeah, so now I just gotta wait for the cooler to come in. So I sanded the bottom down just to make sure there's no little pinholes. That guy is just a little dent, nothing crazy. For the trans lines, we put them together. So I don't know if the rust was the reason for the brown stuff, all the rest that you guys saw, or if it was for the brown liquid, or if it was the trans lines leaking. But in the event the trans lines were leaking, they are now gonna leak into each other. So if there's a hole in the trans line, it'll leak coolant in, coolant will go through here. So this morning when I got up, I jumped straight into getting this radiator done because I wasn't sure if I was able to fix it or not. And if I couldn't, I wanted to get one on order, but thankfully we did. But I made this last night, which is another list. So I'll let you guys pause the video here if you want to take a look at it, if you want to see what we're doing, if you care, and assuming that you can read that. But anyhow, we got a Mark Weld radiator off the list. It's 45-degree spark plug wires. Because currently, spark plug wires are 90-degree, and they're designed to go under the header, but they're too short, so they go over the header, and they're touching the side of the block. And they're melting. So, no good. So, got a pack of those doodads. And the thing that I'm more excited about is these puppies. "7-inch DOT safe," which I didn't even know they were DOT legal, but DOT safe headlights. These puppies are big. I'm not gonna go crazy with headlights on the front of the Wrecker right now because it doesn't look good. Like, you can't put headlights on the bumper because it looks dumb. Put them on the roof. On the roof, it looks stupid. If I had a roof rack, they'd be different, but I don't. So I figured 2 of these puppies would be better than 1 headlight from the 70s. So that's my theory. All right, well, you folks have all seen this custom shovel floating around the garage. 1/4-inch plate, gussets on the top. We punched some holes in it. It's also got 2 tubes inside there. Punch some more holes on this side. And over here, we have a piece a half of 1 3/4 rosette welded to the frame, to the cage, with a bolt going up through it, that side too. And here's why. See if I can't get this on camera here. Goes in there, and it goes in up there. And there she is. But it gets even better. So now it's mounted. It gets even better. We got this guy here. Bada bing. This guy up here. Bada boom. This guy, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This guy here. Bada bing. And this guy here. Bada boom. Look at that with a lock washer. It's not going anywhere. I kind of gack these threads right here. You can see those threads do not look too happy with me. And that would be because they're not. Lock washer on right there. This guy here. Boom. And then tighten her down. There she is. Shovel is not even gonna move. Would you look at that? If you guys watched the King of the Gamblers video, which you should have, you would have seen while we were towing the Toyota at the end of the video, towards the end of it, the shovel was laying off to the side. It had just shifted over so many miles of bashing through the desert, so I figured I'd make a better mount. That's my better mount. Well, as you guys can tell, we got some headlights in. Some nicer headlights. Take a look at that. So you guys saw the bracket. I gotta add some more screws on this guy, but not too shabby. All right, so I'm gonna pardon the darkness right now, but I'm gonna show you guys the lights because we have the front headlights wired up now. So this guy right here, running lights, got the boom light on, brake lights on, but we also have lights in the front. So just the top and the bottom lights are on. Nothing crazy. That side too. And then we have headlights, which is this switch right here. So first one in, that's just headlights. First switch in. And then this switch is the flashies in the back. This guy is going to be flashies all around. And this one is high beams. So now we have high beams in the front. Just so you guys can kind of see, that is high beams on. Not too shabby. So we have quite a bit of light coming from the truck without having nastiness on the front bumper or on the roof rack, which we don't have. All right, first and foremost, I got some things for you guys. Let me show you what we got. So we have this guy, which is a 1 quart radiator overflow. Looks a lot bigger than a quart, but may not be for the radiator. So we have inlet down here at the bottom, and as it pushes the water out, it'll fill this up, and then this will be an overflow. So if it overflows out of this, it'll just drain on the ground. But inlet here, and then we have like a little tube for monitoring the water levels. I don't have any confidence in this tube. It is a rubber tube. So you're talking about a radiator that's overflowing because it's too hot, too much pressure because of the heat, and then you want to put that hot liquid through plastic. I don't know about that, but if it leaks, I'll just plug those two and we'll call it a day. We also have this doodad. This is a 16 pass cooler, oil cooler. So these guys are all in line with each other, and these guys are all crossed. So it goes into here, then it comes into here and drops down and goes to the bottom, and then it comes back up and it goes through the top on the back side. And the coolant passes through here 16 times before it comes out the bottom. So, or however you want to route it. The only problem with this is they gave me 0 mounting hardware. To further that, they gave me 0 mounting options on the part. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out because I don't know. That's gonna be a later problem because I have no idea. Alrighty, so we got the trans cooler is in. So let me show you how it's working basically. Those brackets you saw me make, are right there, so they're holding on to the cooler. Nice and neat, right? Same on this side. And then down here, we have a similar bracket with a nut or a bolt in there, and then it's pushing up on a piece of flat plate, and then and therefore pushing up on the cooler, which is pressing it up into those top ones so that it cannot move. And this sucker, you cannot move it. It does not move at all. She is solid. So that's kind of the theory on that. If anyone likes that idea and wants to steal it, by all means, do your thing. So now that they're mounted, if you're curious as to how they work, it's very, very easy. Pull the red pin, fire extinguisher falls out. That's all it is. Boom. And then you gotta pull that pin, and then you become a firefighter with 0 experience.